Hey, welcome to the Denton City Lifestyle Podcast. I got my wife, Michelle, with me here today. Got a special guest. We just want to talk about our community, those people who have a heart for this Denton and our Lake Cities areas, to see the movers and the shakers, who's doing something in the community, and we want to share it with you because that's who we love. We want to tell good stories, and that's why we're here today. Who we got, babe?
And today, our guest is Coach Neal Brown.
That's right,
Thank you for
baby.
joining us today.
The new coach in town, right?
The new coach of the UNT football team.
The best kind, undefeated right now.
That's
Undefeated.
right, man.
They're
I
the
love
best
it. The
kind.
record's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So glad you're here, man. Welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely.
So what has your first impression been of the city and of UNT?
Yeah, UNT, special place. Unique in the sense that Denton is such a close community, and I love the downtown square. I grew up in my hometown back in Bardstown, Kentucky, has a square.
Yeah.
I've lived several places that have squares, and so it reminds me of home. And it's unique in the fact that we have the small town community, but access to everything.
Oh my
and
gosh,
so
yeah.
So excited to be here, and I appreciate y'all having me on and welcoming me and my family to the community.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
We're so glad to have you.
Yeah. It's a chance to build a whole new legacy here, right here and now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of the journey? I mean, how did you get here for everybody to kind of understand the heart behind it? You had to make a big decision moving your family across country like this.
Yeah, it's always anytime you get into this profession, you have to make decisions. You know, you make them with your family in mind. And so for me I'm the son of educators. So my dad was a high school coach, and then he moved into administration. He was a principal and then a superintendent and so on. My mom was an elementary school librarian. I had this brief stint during middle school where I didn't have a parent in the building. The rest of the time I had a parent in the building. And so 3 of my 4 grandparents were teachers. My wife's vocation before she stayed at home was a teacher. Both her parents are teachers. So both Brooke, my wife, and I are the product of educators, and very, very proud of that backing. And so I went to 2 colleges. I went to the University of Kentucky, and I played football there, and I was there for 3 years. Then I transferred to the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, which I can tell you my accent really shows that I graduated from UMass Amherst, but I did. And I earned 2 degrees from there and really didn't know kind of what I wanted to do. And a former coach of mine named Mark Whipple, who was the head coach at UMass at the time, invited me to come back and be a graduate assistant at UMass, and I did that. And the rest is kind of history, so to speak. I got into it. I really enjoyed being around young people.
Right.
The cool thing about this profession is I get older, and I had our birthday last week.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love celebrating.
And so, but even though I'm getting older and things change, I feel like that we're always dealing with the same age bracket here in college football. You know, that's 17 to 23, 24-year-old. And so you stay up on cultural norms, you stay up on pop culture. And so I like dealing with that group. I felt like that there was really an opportunity to make an impact.
Let's go.
And,
That's good.
And so what I feel like is I'm doing a lot of the same things that my parents did and my grandparents and my wife's parents, educating. Instead of being in a classroom, we're on the field, and we're preparing these guys not just for the game of football, but for the game of life.
Oh, so
and
true.
And so very fortunate at a young age, I was able to get into leadership. I was an offensive coordinator for 7 years. I got my first head coaching opportunity at Troy University. And so I was a head coach at Troy for 4 years, a head coach at West Virginia for 6. And then last year, I was back in the state of Texas. I had a previous stint. For 3 years, I was the offense coordinator in Lubbock at Texas Tech University. Last year, I was an assistant at University of Texas in Austin. And so when this opportunity came, it was something that we felt like was just a great next step for us. And really for a couple of reasons. Number one was location, and it had to do with the Denton and the community. I thought it was a great opportunity. We have an 8th grader and a 4th grader, and great opportunity for them to continue their education. The schools here are very, very, very strong, as you all know. Yep. And the other thing is there's a ton to do activity-wise, and they're both involved in athletics, and so there's a ton of opportunities for them. But also from a football location standpoint, the DFW area is home to the best high school football in the entire country.
Come on.
And so opportunity to recruit high school student athletes, but also entrance into the portal, transfer portal that can come back here. And so that, and then the leadership with Dr. Keller and Jared Mosley, our athletic director here, really, really strong leadership and alignment. We had alignment here, and both understand the power of football and what it can do, not only in a university setting, but also in a community-wide.
Oh, community as a whole. I mean, this last year was phenomenal. And the whole educational thing's great because Michelle, she actually homeschooled our children for a while. And then our children, when we moved back here, actually fell in love with Lake Dallas and kind of got going over there. So that's been a wild journey for us to see that whole thing evolve, even to our daughter going to UNT now, where I graduated from. Yeah. So this is exciting.
Yeah.
It's a great community. And the university, there's a lot of fun things happening here. It's unique. I like the background here. A ton of arts, ton of culture that's here in Denton, part of the UNT. And you don't get that everywhere, especially in college atmosphere. So excited for that aspect. And my family's finishing up the school year in Austin, so I'm excited about getting them here.
Yeah, awesome. We get it. We spent 10 years out in Amarillo, so very familiar with the Red Raider culture out there. And I know you were underneath Coach Leach when you were playing for a while.
Yeah.
So you actually had a chance to kind of get into sort of that mindset too, and now you're bringing that here. So what would you say is your philosophy when it kind of comes to football? Everybody's kind of got a style. You've kind of got your own. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I think for me, the football is a game that can be used as a tool to achieve great things, not only while you're in college, but also outside of here. I think it's the best team sport going. It's the only sport where your physical well-being actually is determined by somebody else. So I think that's important. But I think it's a great developer of character. Our philosophy here is today's the most important day, and we want to attack today, and we want to make it the best ever. And why wouldn't you? There's no reason why it shouldn't be the best ever. And so we want to do that. And then if you think about on the field, what our product's going to look like is we're going to play an exciting physical brand of football. And on offense, we're going to play at a quick tempo. We're going to spread the field out. We're going to get the ball to our playmakers. Defensively, we're going to attack, and we're going to get guys, and we're going to take the football away from them. And on special teams, we're going to use them as opportunities to score. And I think what Coach Morris and his staff did last year is really the beginning of what can be a really special run here at North Texas. The world of college football has changed dramatically.
My gosh, so much, right?
Yeah, and I think we're well positioned because I think there's two types of programs. There's one program that's really it's been detrimental as college football has changed and the dynamics have changed and the focus around NIL and transfer portal and those things. I think it can be detrimental. I think we're the exact opposite. I think we're one of the programs here at UNT that can really benefit from this new era of college football because of our location, because of how we're resourced within the American Athletic Conference. So I think it's a really exciting time, and we're looking forward to building off the success that he had.
That's very exciting.
That is.
So what lessons do you try to instill in your players that will serve them long term?
Yeah, this game of life.
After football.
Yeah, well, I think it's about this. First of all, what we need to do here is create an environment that is beneficial to all. And what we talk about as far as an environment is what we want to do is we want this to be a really fun, positive environment where we're really uplifting. We want it to be extremely competitive. I think this is really important that as we prepare them for life, you have to understand when you do well, you're going to get rewards, and you win, you get rewards, and when you lose, and I think that's just as important. The flip side of that, when things don't go the way you want them to go, you got to be able to flip the switch and say, okay, how can I learn? How can I grow from this opportunity and make sure I don't repeat the same mistakes? Because I think that failure is it's really a great teacher. And we have to take advantage of that. And I think that's our job. And what we want to do is we want to push our players to be better. And to me, like my personal mission is to leave people and places better than the way we found them.
Come on.
And we're in this, what we talk to our team about is this relentless pursuit of better. And how can we be better each and every day in all phases? And for our student athletes, we talk about physically, okay, because we talk about this whole development process, whole person development. And there's a physical, your body, your speed, your strength, your nutrition. there's also the mental development.
Yeah.
So your academic pursuit, but there's also this mental development on the football field, your football intelligence, situationally. And then there's the character development. I think this is really important. We're in a critical stage of their life where we meet them, and we want to continue to develop them as a character and teach them how to be husbands, teach them how to be fathers, and grow them in those roles. Then there's a technical aspect, which is the fundamental skills of the game. And then there's a tactical aspect, which is the on-field performance. And so we're continually trying to get them better in each of those phases on a year-round basis.
I love that, being an occupational therapist from TWU. And we focus on the whole body, and so I just love that analogy. Yeah,
it's a process. The good thing is, like, talk about birthdays and you get older. This is going to be my 11th year as a head football coach, and I'm very fortunate that 18th in leadership overall. And so I think as you go through your career, you learn, and I think that's what we've been able to do is we take this whole person developmental model, and we have a year-long plan of how we're going to and really touch our guys and make sure that we're hitting each of those key elements where they're getting better, because it's about them individually improving. And if we get all 100 of our guys individually improving, then we're going to be better as a football team.
It's so true. And I love the way you look at it, like the approach that there's always a learning opportunity with a failure or a loss. You know, those things, life is going to punch. It happens. So how do we get back up? And I was taught a long time ago with all my management background, you know, there's a learning opportunity when you miss that mark. Whatever the mark is, how do I learn from this moment? And I remember I even had a manager once really blow up. And I walked down to his office. I just took a knee, and I was like, I have a learning opportunity. I apparently messed up. Educate me so I can be better, because I'm on a team here, even in the office, and I want to make sure that we move forward. And he really took the opportunity, poured into me to make me better, and then he learned how he handled the situation. He got better as well. That turned into a really great friendship. But I think that's what you're talking about, you know, making the most out of these situations so that we can develop people into being the best version of themselves when they head out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's critical moments in everyone's development. And a lot of times those critical moments when, as educators or teachers, you have to take advantage of that moment. And a lot of those moments that are critical teachers happen in failure or when you fall short. And then how do you help that person not have that same feeling again?
Exactly.
I think that's a lot of what coaching is all about.
Truth, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what about us as fans, man? We're coming to the game. Help ramp us up. Give us the mentality you want. How are we going to support our team, support you? What are we looking for?
Well, I think the big thing is for us to be, our goal at the end of the year is to host the American Athletic Conference Championship in DATCU Stadium on the first Friday in the month of December, on a Friday night. And we put if we're hosting, that means we're in first place going into the game.
Come on.
And we want to create an environment where, man, it is a real home field advantage where we can propel ourselves, win that football game, and then get into the college football playoff. That's our goal. That's what we're doing all year, working towards that vision and that goal. But to make that happen is we've got to be dominant at home. We've got to be able to win our home games. And we've got 6 home games this fall. We open up with UNT, or we open up with the national champion on the road in IU, but then we come home and play UNLV, a team that won 10-plus games. It's going to be probably one of the premier out-of-conference group of 6 matchups in all of college football. And so what we need from our home fan base is just, first of all, show up, wear green, and be loud. You know,
let's go.
Yeah, and so we want people to be excited. You know, this should be the golden era, so to speak, of UNT football, coming off a first bowl win in a really long time, a nationally ranked team that made it to the conference championship.
Sold out stadium.
Yeah, sold out for the first time. And so we want to continue to build off that success. And I think it starts with our student body, and then it goes to our alumni and our former letter winners here in football, but our UNT alumni, and then it spreads to the community and beyond. And so we really need all those integral pieces to be involved, and we want to be invested. And I think it's our job as coaches and staff and players is to gain the trust of the community and on the campus and of our alumni and our former letter winners, to gain their trust and to bring them in and play an entertaining brand of football.
Did you hear that, community? Bring them in. So Mean Green Nation, let's go. We got to show up at that stadium.
That's right.
We got to be loud. We got to be proud. We're going to support our team.
No doubt.
So Denton, as you said, has a really unique character: music, the arts, strong local businesses. How do you see the football program connecting with the broader community in that aspect?
Well, we have to be intentional about that. And actually, we have a program. It's called the Fifth Quarter Program, and it's about developing our guys outside the game of football. And we use that slogan, the fifth quarter, because that's what's next. What's coming next after this, the game of football. And I talk to our guys about this. You either use the game of football as a tool, or the game of football will use you. And so we really want to train our guys to use the game of football as a tool. And so one of those aspects of the Fifth Quarter Program is social responsibility, and a big piece of that is being tied in to our local community. And so we just met earlier. This is our second Fifth Quarter Program, because we're going to roll it out toward the end of the spring semester. And today was about community involvement and how we want to do that. And there's different aspects that we want to lock into. First of all, it starts right here on campus. I think that it's really important that myself and our players are really locked in with our students and the student groups here on campus, and being there and being present for our other sporting events. I think it's important that we support our other athletes here on campus, but also when fine arts, concerts, things like that. I think it's really important that we're there supporting and they see us, because people want to support those that support them.
Right.
And so I think that's important. And then the next phase is going out into the community, and I think it starts with youth. And being involved with some of our local schools here, with the Denton School District. And then it goes to, how can we make a difference in the community? And there's a bunch of different ways, and I think that we can't get spread too thin. So for sure, we're going to be focused on the youth and get into the schools. And right now, we're really, how else can we be of service to the community and getting our guys where it's not just a every once in a while where they're out there serving. We want to be where it's a regular event, and how we can best do that here in the community.
That's encouraging.
I love that.
Denton ISD, Lake Dallas ISD, you got some amazing leaders, lots of amazing students, a ton of football talent, and you got a community that rallies around each other here. So I think you're poised for some good communal experiences here as
Definitely.
you're out and about.
Yes.
You're going to see this, and the players know that too. When they're hanging out in the city, there's a lot of love that goes around. There's a big Mean Green Nation here for sure. So tell us something personal. Let's get into, you're at the game. What's your favorite food now?
My favorite?
Man, you're at the football game, got to have something to eat.
Yeah, so, well, as a football coach, you don't get to do much tailgating. So, I think the last time I was able to tailgate, I might have been in high school, and that's again, an added birthday, so it's been longer than I'd like to remember. But I think at the game, the tailgating here, we're in the barbecue mecca.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. At some post game after we win, walking through the tailgates here and sampling some of the barbecue. We have a coach on staff, Ray Gates, who's fed our team and our staff multiple times since he joined us in late December, and he's an award-winning guy on the grill and barbecue. He'll compete and do those things. So his brisket, and I look forward to sampling some other briskets once we get out and get in the season.
There you go. Well, what about you get rare opportunities to just get away? What do you want to do? You finally get downtime. You're not busy recruiting. You're not busy training. You're not actually on the field. You don't have 16 things in the air. What do you get to do in your downtime?
Yeah, so the phase of life that I'm in is not really exciting as far as activities, because most of my time is spent making this transition, doing the job that I was hired to do, or watching my children. So I have an 18-year-old daughter that's finishing her senior year in West Virginia. She's a soccer player, so I'm logging air miles back and forth to see her play during this spring. I have an 8th grader who, and my oldest name's Adeline. My 8th grader is Ansley, and she's finishing school year at Austin. She'll come here and start her high school career here once her mother and her figure out the best schools and all that kind of stuff. I'm not involved in those decisions. So like that's a mom decision. But she's a soccer player, and so she plays soccer. She plays middle school basketball. She's running track for the first time.
Come on.
And then my son plays kind of whatever's in season. So he's just started his spring baseball league. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm traveling either to West Virginia or Austin, and looking to watch them play and spend time with them. So that's kind of what my downtime is. So probably not the answer you were looking for, but that's kind of what I'm spending my time doing now.
I think it's important to be a dad.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a huge role. Take it back to football then. How about coaching 11 years now? Man, what was the toughest stadium? You went in there and you were like, man, the stadium's loud. This is hard. What was that game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool venues. So having the opportunity to be blessed to coach in the SEC, to play in the SEC, and also be in the Big 12, there's a lot of great venues that you have an opportunity to play in. Probably, I think there's a lot of, OU on a Saturday night is really a cool experience. But to me, the best venue and the one that really I think everyone that's involved in college athletics should try to experience, or any fan of college athletics, is a Baton Rouge Saturday night down in the Bayou at LSU.
That's loud and proud right
it's
there.
loud.
Cajun Nation
yeah,
now.
it's loud, and it's a really tough place. Back when I was playing, they used to have the Tiger that would be right there as you exited your locker room, but they don't do that anymore. But it's still that's one of the best, if not the best, environments that I've had an opportunity to participate in.
We just think it's great that you chose our community and UNT is a place that's worthy of your family to invest, not only in our players, but our community, and to just share love. And we want you to feel welcomed here. We want your family to feel welcomed here. Mm-hmm. We're excited about this, and we're looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage everybody, follow him online at all of his Insta, Facebook, everything going on with University of North Texas. We also want to give a huge shout out to the podcast trailer who makes this possible every time we have our podcast. Amazing team there with Houston and Sydney. You need to check them out. Also on Insta, Facebook, and their social media stuff on YouTube. And we are Denton City Lifestyle. Don't forget to follow us where we're at, whether it's digital, in the community, in our publication, or possibly one of our upcoming events. We're excited about you. We want to celebrate you, and we thank you for tuning in today. Let's go, Mean Green Nation.
Let's go, Mean Green.
We're going to see you this year out there. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you all.